From the Opopco Studios in Oklahoma City, this is the Press Row. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Barry Trammell. It's time for our weekly We Pick'em segment. We're out of football games, Barry, at least for the time being.
That's very bad news.
I know.
That's bad.
We'll go back to the Super Bowl next week, but let's wait until we're actually in Super Bowl week. Let's pick some basketball games this week.
Can we just pick football games of the past?
My percentage would go up if we did. Let's start here, though. Let's go with the Thunder at Golden State. Barry, the Thunder starts a little West Coast swing. Who you got in this game on Friday night?
I thought this was a nice trap game for the Thunder. I thought go out there to Oakland to play, great fans in Oakland. Dangerous team. They're not very good, but they can make baskets. Then I think it was Monday night, I watched the last 6-7 minutes of Golden State playing Memphis. What a pirate ship of a team they got at Golden State. They're up 14 with 6 minutes left. They end up getting beat by Memphis. Don't take one good shot in the last 6 minutes. I got no use for that team that Mark Jackson's coaching. I'm taking the Thunder.
I'm taking the Thunder too. But Golden State, for whatever reason, even when they've been bad for a lot of games, Barry, they've played the Thunder close. I don't know if it's a matchup issue, if it's all the shooters that Golden State has. Obviously, they still have guys that are not afraid to throw the ball towards the basket. So I think it's going to be a close game, even with Golden State seeming to be, they're not in a good place. I thought Mark Jackson might do a better job, but it seems like they're sort of falling back into some of the things that have caused them problems in the past. I like the Thunder to go out there and take care of business.
Yeah, the Mark Jackson thing so far not working.
Not working at all. All right, let's go with some college games on Saturday. There's a full slate. It starts with the OSU women against Kansas State, a morning tip. Barry, who you got in this one?
Well, I'm going to take OSU. I like really what we saw out of that upset of Texas A&M. The Cowgirls really have played solid all year except for that one game against Kansas. Should have beaten Kansas in Stillwater, but I think they're really playing well. Kansas State is got off to a nice start but has become a little sluggish. I'm going to take Jim Littell's Cowgirls.
Yeah, I like the way OSU's playing as well. I'm going to pick them to win a home game. Obviously that win against A&M marquee, but you look at Oklahoma, beat Oklahoma at home. They've had some other really nice wins. I liked Oklahoma State's team when the season began with their guard play, with their size. They're going to have some ups and downs, Barry. They're a young team, first of all. That happens when you're young, but then you add in the things that have happened this year with the plane crash and, those sorts of things. There's going to be some peaks and valleys with this team. But I think on most nights, they're probably as good or better than most teams in the Big 12. Obviously, Baylor's at the top of that list, though. All right, what about the OSU men coming off a huge win against Missouri? They go on the road Saturday to Texas A&M. Barry, who you got in this one?
I'm going to take A&M. Oklahoma State's not played well on the road, although Cowboys did play, give Iowa State all it wanted in Ames. I think OSU, A&M, and Oklahoma are the three teams sort of jostling for position down in the second division. If the Cowboys can build off the momentum of the upsetting Missouri, then then obviously this season is taking on a new look. But they're going to have to show me more than once, and they're going to have to show me on the road. They haven't played well on the road really in 3 years.
No, and that's why I'm picking A&M as well. OU went to A&M last weekend, should have won that game, wasn't able to close it out. Can OSU do that? I think it's a big question. Obviously, they had a game that they could have closed out and won at Iowa State, a game that they should have been able to steal on the road, didn't happen. I don't know. I like where they're pointing. I thought the Iowa State game was a great start. I thought they played as well in that game as they had in a while. Then you saw a really up and down game against Kansas State. Then that big win against Missouri. Barry, I can't pick them if I feel like it's close because I'm not really sure which team's going to come out. And if LeBron Nash, if his points are still not coming off him being aggressive and maybe getting himself not an 18-footer but a 12-footer or getting to the hole, I don't like them building around him having a good shooting night. I still don't think that's a long-term recipe for success for the Cowboys. So I go with A&M in this one. All right, what about the OU women? They're on the road as well. They're going to Missouri. Barry, who are you going to pick in this one?
I'll take the Sooners. Missouri's the worst team in the Big 12, and
how do you really feel?
Sherry's team's played pretty well on the road. They win at Manhattan. So I'm going to take OU women. Missouri, it's going to be missed in Big 12 women's basketball because there's not a lot of places you can go and get a win virtually every year. And when they go to the SEC, that's going to go bye-bye. So going to be missing the Missouri women.
That's probably right. Yeah, for that reason, I'm going to pick OU as well in this game. Missouri, not good at all. And, I think Oklahoma, clearly the loss of Joanna McFarland, they're going to feel it, and they're going to feel it until she's back because she was really starting to come around. She's a veteran that they have so few of. You look out there on the floor, and usually it's Whitney Hand, a fourth-year junior, with a bunch of sophomores and freshmen. And that's a tough recipe when you're playing in the Big 12. But Barry, they're making it work. They won at Kansas State. They beat Texas, which is always a big rivalry game. I think they're going to struggle with Baylor. The Baylor game being on Thursday night. Everybody does, though. But I think this is a team that can win a lot of games, get to the tournament, and, then who knows what happens in that women's tournament. All right, lastly, the OU men also on the road. They go to Kansas State. Barry, who are you going to take in this one?
I am going to take Lon Kruger's alma mater. Not going to take his ball team. I'm going to take his alma mater. Lon goes back to Manhattan, plays a game against Kansas State in Manhattan for the first time ever, the place where he's the favorite son, the great player in the 70s, the great coach at K-State in the 80s. Now he takes his team there. I actually am sort of warming up to this OU team. I sort of like the Sooner squad. I think they're maximizing their talent. I think they've got some good ball players. They're getting some things done. But I think winning on the road against a pretty physical team, Kansas State's got a pretty good guard play, a lot of 6'7", 6'8" guys that work hard inside. I like Kansas State.
Yeah, I'm also picking Kansas State in this one. And remember, the Wildcats were defeated by the Sooners earlier in the year, a game on Sooner court. And, maybe if that game had gone differently, the Sooners might have a chance to sneak up on the Wildcats. There's no sneaking up on them this time. I think the Kansas State Wildcats will be looking for revenge. And, it's just so hard to win on the road, Barry, in the Big 12. That's why I picked Oklahoma State to lose. That's why I'm going to pick Oklahoma to lose. But I think these are good games. I think you're going to see those two teams play pretty well. But ultimately, it's a tough place to win on the road. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.